My name's Alex from Panoramic Associates. Lucky to be joined by Chris Shephard from BCP. Chris, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Alex. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi everyone. I'm Chris Shephard. I'm the Chief of Staff to the Chief Operating Officer at BCP Council, which is a place that represents Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole on the south coast.
Not everyone I know what Bournemouth is, I know what BCP is, but maybe some viewers don't know. So yeah, can you just give a brief overview of where BCP is?
Sure. So you'll see behind me our beautiful bay and beautiful beaches. We're basically, as I said, 3 towns: Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole, sort of some historic seaside resorts, and now some very old towns. Lots of interesting stats that you probably don't know, but geographically we're between Southampton and New Forest to the east, and then we're sort of just on the edge of the Jurassic Coast to the west, and then about 2 hours to the west of us is Exeter. So sort of the central south, if you like, and sort of with views of the Isle of Wight. And a beautiful bay that has about 15 miles of sandy beaches. But we also, and little known fact, we have about 20% of our areas covered in triple SI. So we have lots of nature, green spaces, and actually the second largest natural harbour in the world, where we have lots of amazing wildlife. So it is a very dense populace. We've got about 400,000 people, all squeezed into this small urban area. But as I say, we're really proud of our green spaces, our trees, and our waterways as well. So we're doing a lot of work around that as well. So that's us, and we're lucky to represent this beautiful place.
Amazing, yeah, great on the coast, great seaside town. Of course, tourism's massive, comes with challenges. So in your role, can you just give the viewers just a brief overview of what your role entails from a day-to-day basis?
Sure, thanks, Alex. So I used to be Director of Economic Development, and actually talking about tourism, we're really blessed with a few other sectors where we are with manufacturing, aerospace, marine, finance, and digital. So we're really blessed with some resilient industries. But earlier this year, I moved into a new role, this Chief of Staff role, and it sounds quite important, but I not sure whether it is or it isn't. I think we're still figuring out the value at the moment. It was a brainchild of my boss, the Chief Operating Officer, Jess Gibbons, and she could see that she needed some strategic eyes and ears to help her with a very, very busy day job, as I'm sure any of you watching will all relate to. And so when I took on the job, I knew it was going to be to help bring our team of directors and our new service of operations, which covers about half the council. We needed to bring it together as one team and to form a strategy around that. So it's not just about following up on the tasks that she sets in motion and delegates to her directors and her heads of service, but it's also about trying to unite the team and bring them together around a clear strategy that then supports our corporate strategy and vision. So there's some really great coverage out there about what a Chief of Staff is. If you Google it, you'll find some articles. Particularly one I like is from the Harvard Business Review, and it talks about a Chief of Staff being 5 things. So if you'll forgive me, Alex, I'll go through them. So it's serving as an air traffic controller for the leader and the senior team. I quite like that idea, where you've got planes as your projects flying. Some of them are taking off, some of them are in flight, and some of them are landing, and your job is to try and make sure those planes go on their journey safely. It's as an integrator, connecting work streams that would otherwise remain siloed. And how many times do we say in local authorities that we work in silos, but we don't work across organizations? So it's trying to link things together and make sure you're the glue sometimes. It's as a communicator, linking the leadership team and the broader organization. So this role is very much about sitting at the top table, but often that top table, quite rightly, is in the strategy space and not thinking about the broader organization, or not connected to that organization. So you're like the broker between the two. It's also about being an honest broker and a truth teller when the leader needs a wide-ranging view without anybody representing their own interests. So sometimes I'll say to my boss, Jess, look, the feeling out there is it's like this, or the temperature of the team is like this, and you'll get different views, but really we should be doing this. And then that leads on to the last point, which is about being a confidant. I haven't got an agenda. I just need to support her. That's my agenda. So sometimes I can tell her stuff that other people can't tell her, and that's because they've got their own interests or their needs, or they want to protect something, and that's fine. That's organizational life. But I think she values that sounding board someone to, to share stuff with and go, oh, what did you think about that? Or how did this go? And
it's quite neutral, it seems to me, that from a neutral standpoint, and also you can tell me otherwise, every day's every week is probably a bit different, right? This is going on, very reactive sort of course, you could probably plan ahead, but I can see from that side of things. What is that what you like about it?
It's a bit of both, yeah, and I do like that. I'm someone who needs to be like, keep moving. I can't sit still very long. So, but what's weird is having the time and the space to plan as well as having that reactive kind of need is really interesting. It's really good. So I was going to say that one of the things I really like about it is having the space. I've actually got the space that I think lots of people aspire to have or want to have, to think about the big issues, think about how they all work together, and to spot the problems as well, and to say, well, actually, that's going to be an issue in a couple of weeks. We need to sort that out now. So I do like that, and I like actually, she's really good at telling me that what she likes and what she doesn't like. So she's a good exec to work to in that sense. So I know I'm doing a good job, which I also really like. Having that feedback is good. Yeah.
Regardless how long in the industry, 1 year, 30 years, everyone loves a verbal pat on the back.
Exactly. But it's also about, we could have fallen flat on our faces with this job because it's a new role, and we both, didn't know how it was going to go. So it's been really enjoyable, working it out. I think the other bit for me is working with the directors. So I've worked with the directors for a long time in my previous role, so I'm well known and hopefully well respected. And I think working with them collaboratively is a really good way, where previously I might have been more jostly or competitive with it. Now I can be part of a team and link everyone together. So I really enjoy that as well.
And naturally, they, as you know them, you've had the privilege of another role. They know you come in. You're only trying to suggest to added benefit to the council. That's the agenda, which maybe was something a bit new, might be different. And you touched upon that. It's a bit new. It was kind of a light bulb moment from the chief exec. What should councils, people watching, what should they consider before creating this type of role?
Well, I think it's hopefully something, or sadly maybe something, that I think we're all used to in local authorities and perhaps in business as well, where if you're struggling with productivity, and your time's disappearing on tasks that don't necessarily add value, you haven't got enough time to follow up on things, and you haven't got you're spending more time going back and forth on things, trying to sort micro problems out, whereas really you should be able to think strategically. I think if you're in that space, then I would suggest having someone there to do the nitty gritty and the day to day and the follow ups, like I just explained. I think that's where you might need to start thinking about whether a chief of staff role is for you. It's really about trying to help you as a leader achieve smart gains, whether that's in productivity or less about business terms, more about local authority terms. Is it about just getting through the work and getting that done so that you can think about where the organization's going, where your service is going, where, what you need to do coming down the track. And having a chief of staff, I think, enables councils to, or any organization, to do that. But like I will go back to, you need someone who understands the role at a chief level to be a good boss. If they treat you like a secretary or an EA, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what this job is. This is about being a confidant and a strategist, and that's different.
Use your points, because personally, I haven't done many of these type of roles, so I'm kind of going in from a different approach. But hopefully some good points there. As a whole, what are you finding in the market, the vacancies are hard to fill, and what are you kind of forecast, do you reckon, will be in the coming months or years?
Well, I think probably like everybody else, there's a dearth of good specialists. So particularly in planning, in engineering, and in our case, flooding and coastal engineers, but also highway engineers are always, I think, in demand as well. All of these relate to place, of course, but because that's where I spend my time. We're obviously always looking for quality social care, social workers. But actually, there's quite a lot of support roles that we need. The project managers, the legal specialists in and around assets and estates and regeneration.
Interesting.
The procurement specialists and the way we buy things. Those kind of roles. Decent accountants who, who understand the need of a commercial organisation as much as local authority finance, because more and more of us are obviously getting involved in raising our own income streams. So those are the kind of roles I can see where we're struggling, and I don't think we're like.
Chris, thanks for joining. Yeah, really some good points there. Hopefully some good take. What would you like the next person to be talking about?
I think it'd be really good to hear about people's local plans or an area's local plan development. You know, someone that's going through it. We're going through it now, and hopefully we'll have ours live in the next sort of 12 to 18 months. But it'd be good to understand where others are, and also whether the national changes or proposals for change and how that might impact on those developments. And I guess the other thing is, as you and I have talked about before in the past, you know, shared prosperity fund, you know, where are people at now? But actually, more importantly, it's got a short shelf life. So what happens next? And is anybody thinking about that at the moment? That would be useful to know.
Amazing. Well, if anyone's watching and you think you can provide a good point, please reach out. Be great to have you on. Chris, thanks again. Lovely to speak to you, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, Alex.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.